Hey guys, what is up? It's Dusty here, and welcome back to another crypto video. Today has been another crazy day for the crypto space, and thus, let's talk about the XRP price, as I think quite a lot of people must be wondering what's going on, what we're doing, and what we're thinking. Of course, since I'm going to be talking about the XRP price, I also have to talk about the Bitcoin price. I'm going to throw a little bit of Ethereum price in there as well, because I think it's going to be necessary to discuss those two. Having said that, guys, I want to know from you guys, what country are you watching this video from? I last asked your city, I asked about $5 million, so just put down below what country you're watching from, and by doing that, you're also automatically entering into our $100 giveaway. Because we give that away the first time a video hits 1,500 likes, and all you have to do is make sure you press the like button, make sure you are subscribed, and make sure you comment something down below. Taking a good look at XRP, we have seen a bounce at about 30.8 cents. This has historically been quite an important level, and it's actually one of the corresponding Fibonacci levels as well. In the last couple of days, XRP has been trading in a range from 37 point something, and about 25 or so cents has been in that channel, but some earlier real supports are right around 17, and actually this other Fibonacci here at about 21 cents. Again, that's the starting point which we actually took from December 23rd, but it is still a very important point to, I guess, remember, because we've seen that we took that point for a good reason, since it was a point which sparked a huge uptrend, right? Or at least a relatively huge uptrend, because if we look at it in terms of percentages, it is a 80% uptrend or so in just a span of a couple of days from December 23rd to right around, what is this, December 26th? 25th or so, which is a pretty huge gain, but that is actually because these XRP prices are relatively low. That's why you sometimes get confused as to how much money you're really making. All right, for example, going from 20 or even going from this 17-cent area, this bottom, up to where we are at right now, which would be right around here, it's a 72% profit, right? So that is, again, in just the last couple of days, since December 29th, you could have still bagged yourself 72%, even taking this bottom here, which happened last night, up to now is right around 20%, a little bit less, but let's say about 20% profit or so in a very short amount of time. It's just not that obvious because these prices are all so low, but going from 25 cents to 30 cents is 20%, which is pretty huge, right? So going from 25 cents, for example, to 35 cents, as you can see, is about a 40% gain. It's just that you don't really notice it since the prices are low, at least in my opinion. Now, XRP, as said before, has made a good little bottom over here at 17 cents, and I think we are right now averaging out at about 31.5 or so, really in the middle of this zone. We've tested the bottom. I guess we're solid here. We've generally started a little bit of an uptrend, I would say, personally, right? I guess a lot of people would not agree with me here, but I think we're actually looking pretty damn solid if we look at the bigger picture for XRP. And what has basically happened is that we are building a basis, because whatever news can come out, it really won't do XRP as much anymore, because we've already now seen the worst. The worst that could have happened was XRP being sued, and I guess the real worst, the scariest scenario ever is if XRP were to be deemed a security. But again, that's going to be months and months ahead. The earliest point at which there is quite a lot of interest is going to be right around this area or so, but there's a good chance that in this time we'll actually keep accumulating in terms of price if this is the worst that Bitcoin saw in terms of a correction. Now, looking at Bitcoin from a weekly perspective, it actually doesn't really look strange. It doesn't really look threatening. However, it does resemble a little bit of what we saw in 2017, which is why I think quite a lot of people may be very afraid to just keep buying the dip, because it basically looks like a candle that we saw right here, and people don't really like to see things follow history, basically, right? But all I can say is, well, think about it from a different perspective. It also looks like quite a lot of these other small part dips, basically. And it's just really not possible to tell whether or not this is going to be a real, I guess, top that we hit at right around $42,000, or if this is just a small part of the way. I personally think this is still just a small part of the way, as, for example, the week here is not even over. It's Tuesday here, so the week can still actually turn out to be green eventually. We have quite a lot of days to go. But also, this is just a healthy correction, and we needed that to happen. Looking at it right here, following the Fibonacci retracement levels as well, I said a good level to retract or to correct towards was going to be around 27.5 or so dollars, 27.5K dollars. Right, you can see here, we've tested it once around that area, and right now we got another test at our other Fibonacci level at about $30,000. But I do think if we go all the way there, it would be a pretty hefty correction. I think it's like a 30, yeah, you can see it's about 35% is the Fibonacci of the 0.618 is right here at about 27.5. That would be a perfect correction, like literally from the books. By then, we'll actually go towards the extension level as well, about 1.618, so right around 65,000 or so for Bitcoin would then be cleared and free. If we correct to there, again, I think that would be pretty solid, pretty normal. However, for XRP, what that would mean is that right now, since Bitcoin would fall another, I don't know how much percent from where we're at right now, let's quickly check it out. It would have to fall another 20 or so percent. It's going to be really interesting to see whether or not XRP can actually hold up this 17 cent or so level since Bitcoin is going to be falling. On the other end, on the contrary, if you take a good look at the XRP daily and the Bitcoin daily, Bitcoin has actually looked quite a lot more dire and negative than XRP did. Also, the selling pressure for Bitcoin has been way heavier than that of XRP, and I kind of feel as if this has to do with the decoupling once more. The fact that XRP and Bitcoin are a little bit less connected than before, meaning that XRP doesn't have to decrease as much since we already saw such a huge bottom here, and for Bitcoin it's only been going up and up and up, and a correction thus is a lot more likely. So from this perspective, it really feels like XRP is a safer asset to hold in terms of stability than Bitcoin. That's really strange to say, but it really does feel like that. By the way, talking about all these things, I just want to quickly tell you guys also to go check out GSX. It is a gold-backed coin, and even though I cannot guarantee the success here, I personally put a couple of thousands of dollars in, because right now there's a pretty cool 22% bonus and a 5% bonus for using my link. They also have some cool staking options available. But basically, it's a coin backed by gold and gold-rich land. Some people like it, some people don't like it. I've just tested it out, I'm trying it, and I put a little bit of money in because quite a lot of guys I know have also been trying that. But if you have any questions, join Discord. Also, go follow my second channel called 5 Minute Crypto, and if you're from the US, go check out Weibo because you can get a couple of stocks for free. I just saw an article as well. XRP's price might surge by 117%, terms and conditions apply. So I read through this, and at first I thought I should quickly read through it all the way as well, but I think everything is quite clear. They're talking about an ascending triangle here, and if you scroll down a little bit, the only thing they're talking about here is that the target for an ascending triangle pattern is equivalent to the height of XRP's price from the horizontal trend line to the first test of the lower trend line. From the chart, it seemed clear that this was 117%. Measuring 117% from the apex of the triangle showed that XRP's target will be 0.76, which is 76 cents. It should be noted that this is possible if XRP breaches the upper trend line and retests it. In addition to this, there seemed to be another resistance around the 60 cent level, one that XRP has to overcome. A failure to breach the pattern will invalidate the potential surge of 117%, and the breach of critical support at 0.2276 would not only invalidate the ascending triangle pattern, but also the 117% surge. And if you download this little thing right here, you can see exactly what they're trying to say. This is basically the pattern they're rooting for. We're going to break out like in the next couple of days or so, following the RSI, again, how that's been going downwards. Basically, again, another theory that some people have put up. I personally, again, think this has some valid roots to it, but I do not want to put too much faith because the reason I keep saying things like that is because it's not quite clear what the correlation is between Bitcoin and XRP. It's not quite clear whether or not Bitcoin will actually keep correcting further, or whether or not this little correction right here that we saw yesterday towards the, I guess, earlier Fibonacci, or I guess later Fibonacci, depending on how you want to look at it, the 0.7-ish, would be better. It's hard for me to say exactly which one is going to be valid enough. I would personally say a correction towards here would be a little bit better. We tested that a little bit earlier, as you can see right here, though. So from that perspective, maybe there was just enough ground here where a correction towards here was good enough. However, since the day afterwards, we're still seeing a red candle after testing, I do assume here that either we're building again, we're building upwards, and even though I don't think the trend has stopped, by the way, a correction is still a continuation of this trend. It's basically just a downfall here in the bigger picture. Whatever line you would want to draw, it always continues to show you the same thing, that things are looking positive, and we're basically building a bottom for it, right? This is also to just prevent huge collapses later on, as if we were to just keep on continuing and we don't retest, like for example, corrections like right here, which was also, by the way, a pretty interesting, if we can actually get this thing going, a pretty interesting about 20% or so correction. Right now we're witnessing I think I said it before, but let's quickly check it once more, 27% correction or so, going towards 35 hopefully, because that would just make the whole move a little bit stronger. Once more, we could not really put this line into place. We could only draw a line like this, a real unstable line, because we're not testing. In this case we are, which is building a good support, and I think that would be pretty nice. Also, once more, if you're looking at the bigger picture for Bitcoin, the real support lies all the way here at about 19,000 or so, where the real basis was formed. I guess a newer one can also be claimed to be at around 24,000, but all these levels here, even though they're quite okay, I'm going to call it okay, they're not that strong. With this heavy of a selling pressure, it could be that we'll breach a little bit further and keep going on. You can see, though, a correction towards the 1.618 extension level of basically Bitcoin's March low to about the high that we first saw in November, which was about all-time high. That move, if you extend that, we would, theoretically speaking, hit about $46,000. However, we did correct now, which I'm going to say is to, again, build a basis to the 1.618 extension level, which is right around this 29.8 thousand or so. We hit it almost. You don't have to perfectly hit it sometimes. It's really around there. That could also be what's happening right now, a correction towards there. I'm just basically saying there's two basic pivots for Bitcoin. I'm going to call it out to be 30,000, which we yesterday hit, or another move a little bit further towards 27.5, and it's pretty hard to say which one of the two is going to be valid enough. However, for a target, I'm calling 46,000 as one of my first ones, which is basically overlapping in most of them. It's just one of the earliest extension levels that we kind of have our eyes open for. Then, founder of a $147 million crypto Ponzi scheme sentenced to 10 years in prison. A lot of people were calling this out, talking about how XRP's founder, basically Ripple founders, would also go to prison if it were to be a yada yada yada. And I just kept thinking about that. What do you think? What do you think if Ripple is found guilty of selling unregistered securities? What would happen to Chris Larsen and Brett House, who've also been sued for that? Would they be in real big trouble? Would they just have to pay fines? Would they actually face jail time? I'm wondering, because that would actually change everything drastically. If they were to face jail time, it would mess up Ripple's plans a little bit to move outside, if that were to be a potential thing. I'm just wondering what would happen. Or is it usual that they only give fines? I don't know. I'm just wondering, guys. Let me know in the comment section. Then, MicroStrategy plans to get more corporations buying Bitcoin. The business intelligence giant is hosting a free online course on Bitcoin, but can it convince the corporations? So, MicroStrategy has told a couple of times that they will be putting in quite a lot of effort to get companies to either buy with them, buy through them, in the sense that they're going to be loaning more potentially, or just getting crypto more adoption. Of course, that is because they got quite a lot of money inside it. They even have a huge loan open right now, which is already in a ton of profit, though, as they right now have $2.3 billion worth of Bitcoin. And Michael Saylor is most likely just laughing his ass off every single day for making his crazy bets. But again, this is interesting because we all know that crypto adoption is growing on and growing. Even though some people might say the run is over, I personally do not believe so, as adoption has only just started. And even though this is one of the biggest corrections ever, Bitcoin's 20% rebound in one day is one of its biggest ever, but there's a catch. It is in terms of dollars, right? In terms of euros, it is definitely the biggest correction because, well, if you take a good look at it, let's quickly check here. We went from about 42,000 to 30,000. That's a $12,000 price decrease, right? So if you have 10 Bitcoins, you just lost yourself 120,000 in the span of a day, possibly, or let's say 3 days or so. That's a pretty big loss, right? If you have 1,000 Bitcoins, you calculate the profit, right? Or you calculate the loss, I guess. A good short would have also been very nice in this sense because we just moved that much. But hey, that is always very hard to really time, right? As these spaces move so quickly, these coins go so fast, the money moves so quickly. It's very hard to say, and no answer is really correct or wrong. Bitcoin right now, again, is already recovering a little bit more. However, yeah, we were also at 34.9 thousand yesterday, which is like, I'm going to say 20 hours ago or so, maybe 15 hours ago or so. So from that perspective, it is very hard to say exactly where we're at. But yeah, guys, that was it for today's video. Hopefully you all enjoyed it. I'm still very happy with XRP and everything that is going on here. I think the decoupling has really started and is really going on a little bit, even though right now it wouldn't really look like it too much. If you put it next to Bitcoin, you do notice that it's going down quite a lot less than Bitcoin is right now. I think the correction has already happened for XRP, so it's really got themselves a good bottom here, a good basis. Having said that, we could see a bigger downside, mostly for Bitcoin. XRP I don't think will ever actually fall back down below 17 cents until the whole February debacle happens, which again is only a month away or so. But yeah, everything is looking pretty damn good, guys. Hopefully you all enjoyed it, and I'll see you again in another crypto video. Take care and have a very nice day.